Well, is the American dream still within reach? Over the last couple of weeks, we've been getting to know this year's candidates for South Carolina's 1st congressional district. And there has been a consensus over the question of affordable living, both in the Lowcountry and the nation as a whole. Well, joining us with more on her platform and why she's running is Democratic candidate Mayra Rivera Vázquez. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we've been talking a lot about affordable living, right? And I know that that's part of your platform. You say that you grew up in a working class family. Would you say that the American dream is still within reach or no?
I think that the American dream has changed. I think that people is showing that, you know, working hard is no longer brings you stability. You know, the housing costs, child care, groceries has been increasing every day. And unfortunately, the Republican administration and the lack of representation that we have in the district has no longer working for our families. And that's the reason I decided to be a voice for the community. I've been serving this community for more than a decade. And I think that it's time to build a new American dream that works for everybody.
I want to talk about the new American dream and what your vision is for it, but let the audience know just what brought you here to the Lowcountry and really what the impetus was for you to run for public office.
Well, I've been a lifelong community advocate and public servant. I served for over more than 20 years as a public servant for towns and cities and the state government, and also as an advisor for nonprofits, mostly in the areas of economic development, affordable housing, and small businesses. I have a BA in economics. I have a Juris Doctor in law and also a master's degree in foreign trade and international relations.
Oh, goodness.
So that's the reason that when we move here to the Lowcountry, I mostly invest all my time on working on the community.
Yeah, and so the new American dream. So tell us what the new American dream looks like, because you're right. Yeah, you know, I think people will work so hard into the grave in order to really afford just everyday life that it does feel like it's slipping away a little bit. So what is the new American dream according to you?
My new American dreams is one based on fairness, opportunities, and dignity. So my new American dream is mostly to bring economic security to families. An economy that works for everybody. I think that the Lowcountry and the district could be a global business hub, but we need to have strong public schools, funding school, having universal pre-K, funding special education, and investing in our technical college and universities. We need to provide sources of funds to towns and cities to build more affordable housing. We need to have universal daycare. We need to protect our Social Security and Medicare, and health care right now is really unaffordable for families. And unfortunately, the representative that we have in right now that is more concerned in following direction from the president instead of working for our people in the district, she even voted against to expand subsidies. And right now, there's going to be a lot of families, thousands of families in the state that are they cannot afford affordable health care.
Well, and I want to touch on that, you know, curious how to pay for all of these things, you know, universal child care and all that stuff. It sounds wonderful, but of course, the money has to come from somewhere. So how is it going to be appropriated? But the other thing I wanted to ask you is, there is that working across the aisle with your counterpart. So how would you plan to do that, and how would you go about paying for these services?
Well, most of these things, you know, we need to end the tax breaks that we are giving to the billionaires. I think that we're having less than 0.1% of people that have more than $1 million, that $5 million, $1 billion, that they could just only paying 1% or 2% could raise all the money that we need to subsidize those services.
$1 million isn't as much today, though, as it was yesterday, right? Though,
But the thing is that way, you know, and again, overturning some of these executive orders that the president has been doing. rethinking against the tariffs. The tariff has been killing the people here. Everything is up.
Yeah.
Groceries, the meat, the building, for builders is already increased 14%.
Sure. So, it was tough during COVID, and it is.
And the good thing is that we starting people having bipartisan approve on the healthcare, because those issues I'm talking about doesn't have a color, doesn't have a party. It's your neighbor, it's your co-workers, it's the people that worship with you in church that are really struggling. And we need to, if we want to have a good economy, when we're talking about universal daycare, this is not a government handout. This is a work investment. If people could have a good and affordable childcare, they could go to work. They could pay more taxes, so that's more money in the economy.
Okay, well, I appreciate you clarifying that. And for anybody who wants to know more about your campaign and also to support you, any events coming up, what is your website?
My website is Mayra for Congress on number 4. Mayra number 4 Congress.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mayra, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We'll be back after this.